Okay, good Tavach everyone. Welcome, Daf Hashavua. This week we're going to do Yud Zayin Amud Aleph tonight, and we'll see when we could get to Yud Zayin Amud Beis. We're starting from the Mishnah on Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. It's a short Amud, and we're starting already a few lines in. The Mishnah says, Yesh neder b'toich neder. There is a neder, a vow within a vow, ve'ein shua b'toich shua, but there's no oath within an oath. Ketzad, how is this? Amar hareini nazir. If somebody says, behold, I'm a nazir, im oichel, if I eat this bread, hareini nazir, I'm a nazir, im oichel, if I eat this bread, va'achal, and he ate the bread. So he seemingly is triggering two naziros, chayev al kol achas v'achas. He's chayev for each and every naziros, which means, presumably, first I'm going to tell you how some Rishonim learn, and the Ran rejects what I'm going to say and learns differently. The simple meaning is, if you say, behold, I'm a nazir if I eat this, behold, I'm a nazir if I eat this, I am now triggering two obligatory naziros, which means there are two causes making me a nazir, and therefore if I violate the naziros, I will get malchus twice. Or if, let's say, somebody says, this orange is asur to me, beneder, and then he says, this orange is asur to me, beneder, so then he's asur to eat the orange for two reasons, for two causes, and if he eats the orange, he'll be chayev naziros twice. That's how some Rishonim learn. The Ran rejects that approach. There is no way to be chayev two naziroses. You can't be chayev two naziroses for one thing. Even though you said hareini nazir, you're not chayev two naziroses. But, meaning you're not chayev for two nedarim. However, there is something unique about naziros of all nedarim. Usually a nedarim creates an itzer chefza. And there's no time amount that you're usher on that thing for. You just say you're usher to it. Naziros is in periods of time, 30 days. So when you say, I'm a nazir if I eat this, I'm a nazir if I eat this, what you're doing is you're accepting upon yourself two 30-day slots. Now, you already accepted upon yourself a 30-day slot. And you're not saying that you're accepting a 30-day slot after the first 30 days. So the lumdus is, the obligation comes now and you don't fulfill it until later. Okay? So you'll never be chayev to malchus for doing one thing. It's just what you're doing is you're accepting upon yourself two periods of naziros. You're accepting upon yourself two periods of naziros. Why it's called neder b'toich neder? Because it's chal now, you just don't observe it until later. Okay? However, ve'ein shvua, but shvua shalai oichal, an oath that I don't eat. Shvua shalai oichal, v'achal, and he ate, einoi chayev ela achas. You're only chayev one. You're only chayev one. Okay. Let's see the Ran. It says the Ran, yesh neder b'toich neder, v'chulu, amar hareini nazar im oichal, v'chulu. Mefarish b'Gemara. The Gemara explains, im oichal, if I eat, lav davka. It's not only I'm a nazir if I eat, I'm a nazir if I eat. Du adinami im amar hareini nazar. The same thing would be if you say hareini nazar. The chayev al kol achas v'achas. You're chayev on each and every one. Ela aidi ditana gabe shvua shaloi oichal. But since it taught by shvua that I didn't eat, tananami gabi nazir im oichal. But it's not really dependent on saying if I eat. It's even if you said hareini nazir. V'chayev al kol achas v'achas amina. When we say chayev for each one, loymar the chayev linog naziros al kol kabbalah v'kabbalah. You're chayev to observe a period of naziros for each kabbalah. V'chiyamar hareini nazir. When you say hareini nazir, the chayev shtei naziros, that you're chayev two naziros, umayna shloshim yom, and you count 30 days, umevi karban, and you bring a carbon, v'chayzer umat. That what it means is, you have to observe two naziros, and you count 30 days. And you bring a carbon, then you count another 30 days. Umevi carbon, v'nafgalan beGemara, and we learned this out in the Gemara. In other words, what you're doing is you're observing 30 days of Nazirus, you're bringing a carbon, and then you're observing another 30 days of Nazirus, and you're bringing another carbon. V'nafkalan beGemara, the Gemara learns this out, minazer lahazer, from the pasuk minazer lahazer, v'kari le lahai gavna. This is called neder b'toich neder. Why? L'fisha hanazirus shniya, because the second Nazirus, he chala b'toich zman harishona, is chal within the time of the first one. Eloshi efshir lo shayimna oisai. It's just impossible to count it. Ad shayimna harishona, until you observe the first one. So it is chal, it's just you can't observe it until you first observe the first one. De'im yisa deloi chayla b'shas nidroi, because the Ran is saying, if it wasn't chal when you made the original neder, how could it be chal afterwards? You're not making neder at that time. Since it's not chal now, it's not chal afterwards. But certainly, it's chal now. Therefore it teaches yesh neder b'toich neder. So again, the logic of yesh neder b'toich neder is that you don't observe it now, it's chal now, but you wait until after you observe the first 30 days to observe the second 30 days. So that's neder b'toich neder. But shvua b'toich shvua is not chal. Not only is it not chal that if you say, I swear I'm not going to eat this, I swear I'm not going to eat this, if you eat it, you're only chayv once, because a shvua is not chal on a shvua. There's also no concept of observing one time period and then observing a second time period after, because that concept doesn't exist by an oath, by a shvua. Says the Ran, shvua shaloi oichal, eno chayv ala achas, koloimar, b'shvuos lo mishkachas trei chiyuvei. By shvuos we don't find two chiyuvim. Lo lilkoi shtayim ba'achila achas, not to be chayv two malchus with one achila. Demikivan she'amar shvua shaloi oichal kikar zeh, because since he said a shvua that I'm not going to eat this kikar, havalei mushvava oimed, you're already sworn. V'suloi chayla alei shvua shniya, and then you're not chayiv on a second shvua. V'loi limnoi shtayim gamkein, there's no concept of counting a second period. That's not applicable. Masha'en kein b'nazirus, as opposed to by nazirus, the nehid einoi loike shtayim. True, you don't get to malchus al achila achas. Mikamaka mishkachas but trei chiyuvei. We do find two obligations. B'shek kafal nidroi beis pamim. When you repeat your neder two times, dahainu limnois shtayim. That is to count twice. Masha'en kein b'shvuos, as opposed to shvuos. Okay. So now the Gemara is going to bring a machlokes between Rav Huna and Shmuel. Exactly how can you be chayev in two different naziros? How could you be chayev in two different naziros? What exactly?
Is there any neder b'toich neder other than naziros?
Oh, good question. Good. So according to the first purest of the Rishonim that I started with, that if you say neder, you're actually chayiv malchus twice, it would apply by all types of nedarim. Naziros, let's say I say, I'm a nazir. So if you violate the naziros, you're chayiv twice. If I say this banana is asur, if you eat it, you're chayiv twice. But the Ran rejects that. So according to that pshan the Rishonim, it only gave an example of Nazirus because that's the source of it is a pasuk by Nazirus, but it would apply to all Nedarim. But the way the Ran learns, no, it's only by Nazirus. So it's not even yesh neder b'toich neder. It's
Nazirus b'toich Nazirus, it's not neder.
Correct. But since Nazirus is a form of neder, right? Ish ki yidar neder nazar lahazer lashem. It's a form of Nazirus. But yes, you're right. It's only, according to the way the Ran learns, it's only by Nedarim. It's only by Nazirus. Okay. Now, we're going to see further. Amar Rav Huna, Loishanu elad amar hareini nazar hayom hareini nazar l'machar. You know when this works? If a guy says, I'm a nazar today, so then we know that minimum Nazirus is 30 days, so it's chal for 30 days. And then he says, I'm a nazar tomorrow. So if nazar tomorrow, then you've extended your Nazirus at least one day, because it's chal from day 2 to day 31. So since it's chal for day 31, so now it's chal for a full 30 days after. Rav Huna holds we only learned this. Ella de Amar Hareini Nazar Ayam Hareini Nazar Lamachar. De Migu de Kami Toisef Yom Yisera. Since you're adding one day, Chayla Naziris on Naziris, and Naziris is Chal on Naziris. Avalama Hareini Nazar Ayam Hareini Nazar Ayam. If you say I'm a Nazir today, I'm a Nazir today. Ein Chal on Naziris on Naziris. The Naziris is not Chal on the Naziris because you're not adding anything. Okay. Well, Rav Huna, and according to Rav Huna, okay, fine. I'm sorry. Ushmuel Amar, Afilu Amar Hareini Nazar Ayam, Hareini Nazar Ayam. Even if you said Hareini Nazar Ayam, Hareini Nazar Ayam, Chala Nazira Saleh, the Nazira says Chal. So according to Rav Huna, you have to add something, and once you added one thing, one day even, it's Chal for 30 more days. And according to Shmuel, then it is, even if you said Hareini Nazar Hayam, Hareini Nazar Hayam, it's Chal now to observe later. So, frak the Gemara, the Rav Huna, Adetana ein shvua b'toich shvua. Instead of the Mishnah saying in the world of Rav Huna, there's no shvua within a shvua, Lisni yesh neder b'toich neder, ve'ein neder b'toich neder. Why does it have to go when it says ein shvua chal al shvua? Why does it have to say, oh, you know when it's not chal? Shvua b'toich shvua. Even within the Nedarim itself, it's not chal when, if you're not adding anything. Lisni, Rav Huna, according to Rav Huna, Adetana ein shua b'toich shua. Instead of saying, but there's no shua within a shua, Lisni yesh neder b'toich neder. Teach, there is a neder within a neder. Ve'ein neder b'toich neder, and there's not a neder within a neder. Hareini nazar hayoim, hareini nazar l'machar. If somebody says, behold, I'm a nazar today, behold, I'm a nazar tomorrow, yesh neder b'toich neder. Hareini nazar hayoim, hareini nazar hayoim, ein neder b'toich neder. This is like a classic lifloig v'lisni b'dida. Instead of going to left field to find the case that doesn't work, you should show within neder itself it doesn't work. Kasha, it's taka kasha on Rav Huna. Why the Mishnah didn't say ein neder b'toich neder if you just say hareini nazar hayoim, hareini nazar hayoim. But in Shmuel, it even hareini nazar hayoim, would not does work. So the only thing that doesn't work is shvua. So Mendy's thinking, what do you mean? Even in Shmuel, why did we have to go to shvua that doesn't work? Nedarim doesn't work either, except by Naziros it works, but every other form of Nedarim doesn't work either. You see, according to the first pshat and the Rishonim that we learned, that it always works by Nedarim, you can't ask that question in Shema. But according to the Ran, that this is a special din by Naziros, that yesh Naziros b'toich Naziros, because you could observe one period after another, so then why is it any better in Shmuel? In Shmuel also, we could ask, what? That why does the Mishnah have to say yesh neder b'toich neder, but ein shvua b'toich shvua? Yesh neder b'toich neder by Naziros, and ein neder b'toich neder by all other nedarim. So the Ran says like this. Really, I should read it inside, but it's not a legislated Ran. So I'm going to tell you outside, and let's see if we can explain it clearly. The Ran says like this. This is not a classic question of liflag v'lisna b'dida, because anyway, the purpose of this Mishnah is to find a chumrah of neder over shvua. Why is this Mishnah listed? We want to show that there are chumras by neder over shvua. So don't say, oh, why did it go to shvua that doesn't work? Say even sometimes by neder it doesn't work. The whole purpose is to show nedarim is more strict than shvua. So then if you'll ask that, so what's the Gemara's kasha on Rav Huna? Why should we be maflig within neder itself? We have to show neder is more chamar than shvua. No, the question is, on Rav Huna, the Mishnah is mashma, it always works by Naziros. The Mishnah is misleading according to Rav Huna. According to Rav Huna, it only works if you say hareini nazar ayam, hareini nazar l'machar, but the Mishnah is misleading. It says yesh neder b'toich neder, that's mashma, it always works. It needed to clarify, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work. So you'll ask, but in Shmuel also, the Mishnah is misleading? How is the Mishnah misleading? It says, Yesh neder b'toich neder. How? By Naziros. Nobody ever said it works by other Nedarim. It's not misleading in Shmuel, but it's misleading in Rav Huna. The question is not lifloik v'lisnei b'dida, that instead of going to Shvuah, just differentiate with a neder, because that's equally a question on Shmuel. The question is, the Mishnah is misleading in Rav Huna, because by saying that it always works by Naziros, that implies it always works, even if you say Harini Nazar Hayom, Harini Nazar Hayom, but that's not true, it doesn't always work. Okay. We're now, that's Daf Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. Thank you very much.